Hey, you guys, Jim here, 8:32 p.m. my time, June the 10th. Wanted to remind you guys about something that I talked about the other day, and some of you may have seen it, some of you may have missed it, but it was this pre-market activity. This is a 25 tick chart. So for those of you who aren't familiar with 25 tick, it's basically just a time frame bar. And just like you guys, I think a lot of you watch these 1 minute bars of trading activity, or 5 minute, hourly, whatever. So this is 25 ticks. So it's literally a tick, a trade. And when there's 25 of those that happen, uh, the bar closes and moves to the next bar forward. So what you're seeing here is $3 range. Okay. These are all 25 tick bars. So in a short 25 ticks of trading activity, 25 executions, you've got a $3 range pre-market. This right here should absolutely draw the attention of regulators. I mean, when someone's doing this kind of stuff, pre-market in a thin market, either pre-market or post-market, um, even if it's not nefarious, the regulators should look at that and say we need to look at whose algorithms are causing this, because somebody might have a wonky algorithm that can cause a flash crash or whatever. So the fact that people don't talk about things like that are it's pretty amazing to me, and it's also I think proof that there is just an epic battle going on under the surface that none of us are, um, you know, get none of us are in on. How about that? Because I think I see it. I was going to say no, none of us see it, but I think I see it. But we don't really know who the players are and what's going on. And as I said before, if we started to melt up towards some of these numbers that people are talking about in the ape community, some of the numbers that would literally collapse the global economy and our market and everything else, it's just not going to happen. So, as a matter of fact, I could make a really good argument, you guys, that this melt up we started into my exact dates. Remember, we were moving into my melt up dates right here, and then we had some scattered dates here, and we had this sort of upside risk. You know, think about who sold right there. Not who you think might have sold, who reported that they had sold right there, and why did they sell? So, you know, someone might have been tapped on the shoulder and warned that maybe they were creating too much of a frenzy in the ape community. I don't know, um, but you have to think in terms of reality, and what really happens. I sat through the 2008 crisis, traded it in real time, noticed that the worst downside sessions were only limited to about 7% in stock indexes. I mean, there's a reason, right? We have the plunge protection team, PPT. It's a real thing. It's not made up. It's not tinfoil hat. It's a real thing. You can go read about it. And, their job is market stability. So it's not a bad thing. Are they manipulating to the definition of the word manipulate? Are they manipulating something? Yeah, that's their job. Does the Fed manipulate, rates? Yeah, it's their job. So, I know this audience is sort of diverse as far as my followers on Twitter and also the subscribers. We have some people who are pretty savvy, and we have some, people my age who are smart people, but might not have a lot of experience in the markets. And then we have some really young people who are not only inexperienced, but in my opinion, overly aggressive with their uh, overly aggressive with their comments to me, and their sureness of what they think they know. We were all young at one point, and you look back at certain things you say and do, and you obviously, if you're like me at least, there were some things that I thought I knew that I absolutely had no idea about, and probably should have just uh, kept the comments to myself. So anyway, uh, that's odd, is all I can say, and the fact that we the fact that we saw this, that's odd, is all I can say. Um, the fact that this happened to my laptop, and if there's anyone out there that you guys read that says this is not a big deal and this is just Jim's imagining things, This is a hardware attack. This isn't a software attack. There's not a lot of people that even know how to do it. This is a hardware attack. Sound, graphics, reversing a fan, overheating the computer. So we're gonna figure out who did that, and then I'm gonna hand that laptop off to the FBI. It'll be the second laptop I've had to hand off in the past 2 years. The other one I had to carry down to the Secret Service office in the Embarcadero, and so anyway, don't let anybody tell you that this stuff is doesn't go on. And I don't claim to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes right now, but it's an epic battle, is all I can say. You guys are doing a good job at bringing some things to light. So the good news about the market here, after that long-winded rant, is that we we closed at 42.80 as far as AMC's price goes, and moved up $3 after hours. So really, that 45.80 was more of sort of the move I thought we might have into that zone of strength. We're still seeing some kind of strange things into my zone of strength. I agree, but guess what? I'm going to go back to business as usual. I do not believe that anyone out there can consistently game anything that I'm publishing, and I don't think they're really, I don't think I'm important enough for them to do that in the first place. The exception would be that the stuff that went on that Friday expiration, and we have some people looking at that. So we've got this zone of strength into the open. We've got a nice zone of strength into 9:45. Like I said, I'm not going to obscure any of this stuff anymore. I'm not going to hide any of my timestamps. We're gonna go ahead and go back to the way we used to do things, and let the chips fall. This is the one this really looks like a good looking zone of strength. And this is new data from yesterday. So it's a pretty broad zone of strength, pretty broad window. Whereas this is a sort of bullseye timestamp. You can add 15 minutes on either side of that for the window, but this is a nice big broad window, and it's coming from one of my models. It's pretty powerful. So I think I think things look good, you guys. I think things look good overnight tonight. That was a good $3 start. We'll see if the AMC can tack on some more strength pre-market tomorrow morning, and then it morphs into this. It leads into this. And then we're not too far away from a really powerful looking zone of strength. Those are separate dates, but I'm adding them together just because, in general, I believe that'll be sort of a follow-through window. Quick glance at Nimoy. We did go out with a little improvement on the hourly velocity right there, so that's a good thing. Coincidentally, the hourly trigger sitting at 48.46. Well, that's falls in line nicely with that 48.50 vibration level. This 54.90 retest is still something we'd be looking at. I mean, I guess that could happen. I doubt it, but right here for sure, I would think that I'd be very surprised if we don't retest 54.90 or above into this zone of strength here. And again, I'm my count all the way down at my 5-minute model is looking for new highs just to continue the count at that small degree fractal. I mean, that's why I'm so confident we're headed right back above that high. Now, whether we melt up or not, I don't know. I have to tell you guys in real time what I see, but at least I'm confident that there's no reason to panic through any of this pullback. As far as the timing of the low today, I told you guys right in there, I thought the stock was making a low. The reason I thought it was making a low, I'll clean the chart up for you guys, is because I'll really clean the chart up for you. So all we're looking at right here is the 5-minute velocity. Okay. And again, you guys don't subscribe to Nimoy. It causes a lot of problems for us with all sorts of things. So don't do that, please, yet. I'll let you guys loose pretty soon. So we had the most extreme reading to the downside, which was a 41 cents right here, with price, the black line, price making a new low for the move. As price continues lower, and I'll remove that because you guys know price is moving right down into that period right there. You can see where clearly the velocity holds above here. So that's just called a positive divergence. That's pretty common in all sorts of different momentum oscillators that people use, stochastics, MACD, RSI, all these different things. So this is part of the secret sauce that's totally proprietary. No one that I know of calculates these things. Um, and no one I know of renders different time frames on a single chart like we do, which is pretty complex stuff. So anyway, this looks good to me. I think we'll, um, and that looks realistic for tomorrow. And then, as I said, things get really interesting next Monday. So that's it. Thanks for hanging in there. You'll notice that I have replaced the charts finally. I just got through working on all this stuff. It looks kind of simple, but this takes a lot of time, you guys. I recreated that black chart in white for you guys so that everything on this site is the same. And you can see here 14th, 16th, this big window here, and then of course, ever since I started to track this stock, and ever since I bought it at $9.19 on May 4th, I was eyeballing this window as the most likely um, window to bring the kind of upside that some of you guys are looking for. So, and I don't think we'll approach some of the I don't think we'll approach that $100,000 number. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever, you guys. But I do think whatever upside we're going to see, the maximum upside velocity, I think it probably comes into that August window. That doesn't mean we can't, hit 100 or 120, over the next several weeks here. But it just means that in my eyes and my work, the most powerful zone of strength still looks like that August zone of strength. So you guys will notice I had them move the message bar, the message over to this right sidebar. I like it much better like this. I didn't like that pancaked design they came up with up here. It was just way too hard to read. It's a decent sized window, even when the accordion's collapsed. You can kind of scroll through, but I prefer to open the accordion up. Then you have a really, a tall window here where you can read not only one of my most recent notes, but you can read this and then go down through the whole thing and kind of see where we've been and how things have worked out. Of course, the video updates, that's where this video I'm making right now will live, and it's always sitting in the same section, forecast section. You guys understand how all this works. I've cleaned this up a little bit to reflect the very latest. And then, long term, I'm going to have them by later tonight or tomorrow morning, they're going to put in a commonly used terms. It was buried inside, I think, some links. Let's see. Yeah, see, it was buried down here, and that's why so many of you are not understanding that where to go and look for things. You see where they have, zone of strength, zone of weakness, magnet, retest, vibration, strength into, weakness into. There's a lot of questions out of the 500 support ticket that were logged at the support desk yesterday. A good bit of them are stuff like this, trying to understand my terminology. So anyway, I'm going to have them, it's too buried. I'm going to have them move that back to become one of its own accordions and have its own header. So hopefully that makes things easier for you guys. I also will probably embed some kind of video in here, giving you kind of a visual and explaining a little bit more about retest levels, vibration, these things, so that you guys can, we can all be on the same page. Anyway, long video. Hope you guys are hanging in there. Hope you're not getting disappointed. There's nothing that's bothering me in this entire move. It is a little bit odd that the timing of it, but it's just in my work and my experience from studying these things over the years and manipulated markets, both up and down. It can never be permanently manipulated. It's that thing I always talk about: pay me now or pay me later. And I don't mean me personally. I mean that's the way Mr. Market operates. Mr. Market is brutal, and if somebody out there really is caught short up to their ears, up to their eyeballs, there is no escape. Mr. Market's brutal, and whoever it is will pay the price. And you probably see some smaller firms go out of business. That always happens, and then we'll see if the larger firms are punished for doing something nefarious, if that's what they did. Good luck, you guys.